So, would you say that you are in complete control of yourself now?
I would be lucky to be in complete control of myself, but I have as much control as I would like to have.
So are you turning into a bit of a Madonna?
Not quite. I do have my little tizzers, but no, I don't think I'm quite the same.
We've seen slightly raunchier you of late. Is this, I mean, are you following in the footsteps of Madonna to kind of constantly change your image?
I wouldn't, well, I guess it would be seen as that way. I actually try not to do things that are too similar to Madonna. I'd hate people to say, oh, you're doing that just because blah, blah, blah. I guess so, yeah. I mean, it's quite odd that people still, a lot of people still think that I should be like as I was 4 or 5 years ago. I'm getting confused as to which change they're talking about at the moment, because I have been constantly changing for the past 2 years.
Yeah, I think they're talking about the change. They say that you look a bit like Madonna now, or you're trying to model yourself on Madonna.
Well, when we're saying they, we're talking about the tabloid press.
Yeah.
And I would hope that people in general would know better than to believe everything they read in the press. And of course, the point of the press is to sell as many papers as they can, and to do that they have to be sensational.
You've undergone a fairly radical change of image. I remember when the first video I saw for I Should Be So Lucky, squeaky clean, dancing around like an innocent farm girl or something, you know, and now, especially the last tour where you came out with all the fishnet and the PVC, and some people, I know there were comparisons to Madonna. Some people had said that maybe you were looking at Madonna and using her as an influence. Were you surprised at that comparison?
In the beginning, I was quite flattered to be compared with Madonna. Now I'm getting quite sick of it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not trying to be a new Madonna. I'm trying to be myself. I mean, I'm 23. I'm discovering myself personally, let alone the image that I project.
Yeah.
For every hit, there's always a detractor, isn't there? And there's always the picture, the story, or whatever that you might not want. The Madonna the Madonna-style publicity, did you resent that when the pictures of you in the old skimpy outfits and everything? What is she trying to do?
Well, what I resented was the fact that the press, the tabloids in particular, didn't really review my show. They were merely commenting on the outfits that I was wearing, and of course the outfits were meant to cause something of a stir, and they did.
But your experience now, I mean, surely you said, well, they will, won't they? You knew that was coming.
Oh, yeah, I knew that, but I, to be honest, I didn't expect it to that degree. And in the beginning I was quite flattered to be, I still am quite flattered to be compared to Madonna, to be looked at as being in that league, but I do get quite tired of it, because I'm not trying to be, you know, I'm trying to be myself.
Did it upset you that many people have dismissed you and the sexy image as just being another Madonna clone?
Well, first of all, the comparisons were flattering, and I guess they still are flattering to a degree, because it's nice to be looked at upon that level. But I am getting very tired of it now, because if I was trying to be a Madonna clone, there's many things that I could do to be a Madonna clone, and I'm not doing all of those. And also, Madonna's done just about every style there is, so to come up with something that they can't compare to Madonna, I think for anyone would be quite difficult.
You got an English designer, John Galliano, to design all the costumes for it. And I have to say, I did think that some of it was quite reminiscent of the Madonna sort of image from her tour, which, I know there's a quote of yours that says nothing's original, so I don't suppose you'd be too offended by that. But is she someone that you admire, and were you conscious of the fact that, you know, this sort of underwear bodice thing and everything was something that she'd done?
Yeah, but I get very tired of being compared to Madonna. In one sense it's flattering, but I spend, you know, a third of all my interviews talking about, it's like, maybe you should interview Madonna. And people are forgetting the fact that Paula Abdul, Prince inspires me more than Madonna does. And you only have to look at what he wears on stage.
But he doesn't wear stockings and
No, but he does wear suits with nothing on the bottom, and I mean, that's quite outrageous.
Do you get tired of being compared to Madonna?
Yeah, I do get tired of it. I mean, let's face it, if I was trying to be Madonna. There's many ways to go about it. But I'm not. I admire her, I respect what she's doing, but it's just blatantly obvious we're two very different people. She's I was going to say a lot older, it's quite rude. She's older than I am.
Would you take it all the way, do you think? Would you wind up doing, like, the Madonna book, Sex? Is that something you would aspire to?
No, not at all.
Well, obviously, as well as a single, you've got this amazing book of photographs. Incredible pictures there of you. This is the new image that you're keen to promote. I mean, already some people in the tabloid press have said, oh, she's just copying Madonna. Madonna had a book, a similar kind of look. How do you cope with that kind of criticism?
Well, a lot of it, unfortunately, boils down to the amazing literary skills of the tabloid journalists. And I think it's unfortunate that a lot of people have to have their opinions formed by the media in that way. But, you know, in this instance with a book, so many people have released books, and it's nothing like Madonna's book. I think that there's more comparisons between Janet Jackson and myself. We're more the same age. Her image has changed a lot over the past few years, and she's finding a new sexuality and new sense of self and promoting herself that way. But I think it's just, you know, it's quite boring in the end for me.
Kylie may have a different look these days, but there are those who say that looks all too familiar. You're constantly being compared to Madonna. Does that flatter you? Or?
Yeah, it flatters me. I'm flattered by it, but I'm quite frustrated by it as well, because it's every journalist is asking me about it, and what can I say? I don't know Madonna any more than you do, and yes, there's similarities, but there's a lot of differences as well, just because we're both expressing ourselves in very strong ways. I wonder why, you know, why isn't Janet Jackson brought into that comparison? I probably have more in common with her.
Janet Jackson didn't publish a book of provocative photos of herself, like Madonna and Kylie.
It came out before the album, just to prime people. Nothing more, nothing less. It's a limited edition. You can't buy it. If you were so-called special, you got one, and that's it.
Please answer only in love or hate.
Okay.
Number 13, Madonna.
Love.
Madonna at the MTV Awards. Maradona wearing a Kylie Minogue t-shirt.
Yeah.
What did you think when you saw that?
I didn't know what to think. I was really chuffed. I think you're meant to be. Even though I knew there was a possibility she might wear it, but it's this strange thing to make a comment on. I mean, it's great. It's kind of an accolade.
If you thought this was a good idea and a laugh, and we're about to find out if she doesn't, we got you, excuse me, this gift, which is presents. You love presents, I know, but look, your very own Madonna t-shirt.
You've got the safety pins.
I'd love to say we went to a top Bond Street designer shop in London, but that was Arts and Crafts afternoon in the Celebrity Office. Oh, fantastic! Look at that, you know.
It's a good fit.
Madonna she's a great inspiration. She's amazing. She's the queen, you know, there's nothing more you can say about it. I admire and respect her, even if I wasn't in this industry, just as a woman who's made such an impact and continues to, and she's broken down all these different barriers, and yeah, she's it, I think.
In this article, they're saying that your album is the album that Madonna should have done. How do you feel about the Madonna comparisons, good or bad?
Well, thanks. I mean, obviously she's an inspiration, and I think it's great to be compared with her. I think what's important now is that people are not just comparing, but appreciating how different we are as well.
with Madonna as being, you know, the master or mistress of reinvention. Like, do you think that's a fair comparison? And what's your view on Madonna?
I'm a massive Madonna fan. Yeah, absolutely.
Like, have you met her? Like, have you ever had sort of...
I've only met her briefly. Yeah. We have some friends in common, and you know, a message will go back and forwards. You know, she says hi or I say hi. But yeah, I think, you know, obviously, how can you not love Madonna?
Absolutely.
You know, and I know she's got a new album coming out, and I hope she kills it. I really, you know, I would want her to do really, really well. As a fan, I want some great Madonna music.
And yet you're one of the few women in the world that's probably reached a similar level of fame as what Madonna has.
Well, in some places, definitely not in America, and I think America makes all the difference. That kind of makes you global. So I suppose without that, I've done pretty well.
Madonna. Here she is, and she is performing during her Madonna World Tour in Istanbul. This is very recently.
Kylie, what do you think?
Was she caught up in the moment? Was it premeditated? Who knows? But I think it's got people just more perplexed than kind of excited by it.
Interesting.
Yeah. Okay, now we're going to take a look at Madonna. This is during her world tour in Rome. Yes.
And what do you think, Kylie?
Well, Joan, no. Just no.
I love you.
Kylie, Madonna.
The Queen.
Kylie Minogue. Who would you say has more talent, Lady Gaga or Madonna?
Oh, you've gone straight for the jugular.
That's this game.
Is that the tone of the next 3 questions?
Kind of.
Oh, man. How long do I have? That's very, very difficult.
First thing that comes to your mind.
Everyone's like, what is she gonna say? I'm gonna go with just for hanging in there and still doing what she does. I'm gonna go with Madonna.
Give it to Madonna.
Who's been somebody else your inspiration?
The main person who's still doing it is Madonna. And she was my idol at 15. I was prancing around with my lace gloves on, you know, waiting for Justify My Love video later on. I mean, that was back in the day. You didn't catch it on YouTube. You had to wait up and watch it on TV.
And now Madonna, Kylie, you know, is often compared to Madonna. Do you guys know one another?
I've only met her one time.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, like very briefly.
How long ago was that?
It was maybe 2001, something like that.
What was the occasion? How was it?
It was MTV Awards, and it was backstage, and she, on that show, she actually wore a T-shirt with my name on it, so I was a bit blown away.
That's this picture right here. Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Now,
she looks amazing there.
What was it like when Madonna wore the Kylie T-shirt?
In a word, cool.
Yeah, it was an incredible moment.
It was pretty amazing. I heard a whisper at that particular award show that she might be, that there was a couple of T-shirts and one of them had my name on it. She might be wearing that, and she did, and it was awesome.
Did you ever talk to her about that afterwards?
The only time I've met Madonna was I think right before I went on, or like just very briefly backstage at that show. So we didn't really have a chance to talk, but I feel like I know her a little because we have mutual friends.
It was a strange thing for her to do, but it was very apt, and it was very sort of sharp of her because she really judged that moment well. Because it made her look cool, and she was already cool. I don't know why, but it was just a very well-judged thing to do.
It was really well-judged, you're right, because she wore a Britney shirt, one with my name, and I can't remember who else. They're the only two I cared about. But yeah, it was very canny of her, that's for sure.
It was like, come on, girls. Yeah, it's okay.
Well, she was saying, this is what I think she was saying, I think you girls are great, but I'm the queen.
Yeah.
I am pronouncing that you are good.
Yeah.
So it was all cool for me.
I'm giving you my seal of approval.
Is it like a blessing? Yeah.
Over the years, you've worked with some, great artists and songwriters.
Is there anyone left on your wish list?
So many people. Of course there is. Can I name them?
What about Madonna? Would you ever like to collaborate?
Of course, that would be incredible. It's like maybe the world would, stop mid-orbit or something. Like, yeah, it would be incredible. I don't know if it would ever happen. Maybe some things live in our imagination.